What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This? This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10, and build them or fix them if they don't quite rank high enough. Speaking of not ranking high enough, here we are in today's fixing video. We haven't done one of these in quite a while, but the College of Swords Bard needs just a little bit of help. So if you are excited to see what I have come up with to homebrew this thing up to where it should be, go ahead and leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I wanted to go ahead and say thank you all to all our new subscribers we picked up during 2021. It of course is now New Year's Day when this is going out, and we did not quite meet our goal of 500 by the end of the year, but we got pretty close. And so I wanted to say thank you to all the support during last year, and I look forward to all of your support going on this year. We will be moving on to clerics very soon, and that is going to be a fun one as well. So thank you all so much for your support. So the College of Swords Bard obviously had quite a few issues that I talked about on Tuesday. If you missed that video, that will be up in the iCard above for you right there. So among those, your martial prowess really wasn't that great. And I feel like you were focused so hard on that maybe you would... I feel like with these, sometimes you forget that you're even a bard, which bards are super busted no matter what. But I think that you would have ended up being more disappointed with this one than if you had gone with something like a lore bard or something like that. So I wanted to go ahead and fix this at least to a decent spot where you can have your martial prowess, and I still wanted to keep the identity of the subclass while making it a little bit more up to snuff as far as doing some different things, at least martially. So let's take a look at what I have changed. As always with these fixing videos, down below in the description you can find a link to the document I am using, and this has all of the details of what I have come up with, and also there will be a link for D&D Beyond as well if you would like to view it there. So let's start off at level 3. So at level 3, we get to get 3 things that did not change. Actually, we didn't change the names of any of the features. I know that when we did our Path of the Charging Rhinoceros Barbarian, if you haven't seen that, check that out up in the iCard above. We changed the names of a lot of things. We changed the name of the subclass entirely because it was so different. This time it's going to be very similar. It's just some minor tweaks, mainly because that one ranked super low and needed a ton of stuff changed. This one doesn't need a ton changed, but there are a few things that I definitely wanted to improve on. So we're going to start off with our bonus proficiencies. Instead of just getting one weapon, the scimitar, you're going to get all martial weapons here. Now, I don't want to give shields because then we are stepping on the toes of another bard subclass that we have not quite gotten to just yet. And I don't think shields really are appropriate here. So no shield proficiencies, sorry. But we're keeping the medium armor and we're getting all martial weapons. This means that we can now use other bladed things. We can use ranged weapons, we can use all of that, which we could use ranged weapons anyway, but this just goes to show you that you can use a lot more than what you could before. So I like opening that up. The second thing is our fighting style, and originally we only got to choose between 2 fighting styles. Yeah, no, now we're able to choose from all of them but 2. I took out the I don't even remember. I believe it was the protection one. Yeah, I took out the protection one because it required a shield and we're not proficient, so there's no reason for it to be there. And I also took out the one that gives you Battlemaster maneuvers. The reason I did that is because this is a pretty similar subclass, at least in nature, to the Battlemaster. So it gives you these little maneuvers they're called Flourishes in this one. And so I think that that's a little too similar, and I don't like the idea of giving you the maneuvers on top of the Flourishes. I think that's a little much, and I think that if you want that, then you're gonna have to take 3 levels of fighter. So that's just me. I think I just think it's better that way for balancing purposes. So that's why I went with that. If you think that that's too much to take away, let me know in the comments down below. Also at level 3, we get our blade flourishes, and I have changed these a little bit. I've added 2 new ones, and they both require a saving throw, and we're doing the saving throw not based on your charisma modifier, but on either strength or dexterity. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. 1, this character is always going to be multiple ability dependent unless you take a dip into the Warlock class and take the Hexblade. The Hexblade allows you to use your charisma mod instead of strength or dexterity. This keeps you having to still focus on those stats. So it's the whole point of this is to discourage multiclassing. And not that there's anything wrong with multiclassing, but the whole point of a subclass is to entice people to want to take it all the way to the top, is to make people want to take the class from 1 to 20 and you not feel that you have to go somewhere else to get these features that you want. So this basically makes it to where if you go there, that's fine, you can do that, but your saving throw is still going to be based on your higher score, strength or dexterity. So I think that works out. So I think it's fine. I think that that's perfectly balanced. We kept the 10 feet walking increase. We kept a lot of other things. The one thing major that we changed here is that it's no longer on your bardic inspiration. You no longer expend your bardic inspiration when you use your flourishes. Instead, you have a number of flourish die that are the same type as your bardic inspiration and scale with it, but you only get as many as your proficiency bonus allows. So if you are below level 5, you will have 2 of them, and so that's going to feel pretty bad, right? When you're at low level, you're going to feel rough. However, when you get to high level, you're going to have 6, which is more than what your charisma mod would be, barring some high level magic things. So it's going to feel better as you scale. You'll already have 3 by level 5, which is still pretty early, and then it will just scale up from there. So I think that's fine. It's kind of the new way that Wizards is balancing everything, is basing things on proficiency bonus anyway, and I really like that, because the other thing is that if you multi-class, you're still scaling. So you'll get more of them, they just wouldn't scale die-wise unless you're taking more Bard levels. Again, more reasons to stay with Bard. As for the core 3 flourishes, they didn't change except for the slashing flourish. Very minor, but significant. I changed it to where when you do the damage to a creature standing beside your target, it can be either within 5 feet of you or within 5 feet of the target. This makes it feel a lot better to be using ranged weapons if you need to, or if you have a weapon with reach and there's a buddy right next to it. I think that this really will help you to feel more effective, and honestly, it's not going to make a huge difference as far as balancing goes, because it's 1 die of damage. That's it. And you don't get extra attack here until level 6, but even then, like, you know, if somebody's out of reach, you can go ahead and soften that enemy up a little bit. I think it's fine. I really don't think it's a big deal. So, but again, let me know in the comments. Then we added 2 new ones, the Disarming Flourish and the Halting Flourish. Disarming does pretty much exactly what you think it's going to do. When you hit with your attack, you force a strength saving throw, and on a failure, they drop 1 item. This could be really useful depending on what it is that the creature is carrying, whether it's a weapon, whether it's a item that you are trying to retrieve. It can be a bunch of different things, and so I think that this gives you a little bit more versatility, but as far as the damage goes, it's the exact same damage as all of the other flourishes, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Finally, Halting Flourish. I think this one's a little strong, but let me know. This one will actually force a charisma saving throw versus your strength or dexterity saving throw DC, and if it fails, then its speed is 0 until the start of your next turn. So you're locking that enemy down, which can be pretty cool. I think that that's pretty strong. It keeps you right there, but again, you're a bard, so unless you multi-class, you're not going to have heavy armor, you're not going to have a shield, so your AC is not going to be insane. So you know, you may not always want to do this depending on the enemy. So this would be one that is situational at best, but sometimes you may find yourself wanting to use this. So I think it's pretty cool. Level 6, extra attack. Nothing changed there. I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting extra attack at level 6, and I think that's great. I do not think that it is a good idea, at least for me, to give the Bard the version of extra attack that, say, the Bladesinger Wizard would have. I think I want to keep that unique to the Bladesinger Wizard as far as casting a cantrip when you use the extra attack. I don't think that that's the best, just because Bards get so many things, and technically you could get things like Eldritch Blast from your magical secrets, or just from if you took a dip in Warlock. So I don't think that that's the best thing to do in the world. So I think it's more appropriate to just leave it as is. So that's just what I went with. Finally, level 14. I added a feature. I might regret this, but I added in a second fighting style. I think that this might be a bit much, but I don't know. I haven't play tested a subclass that has two fighting styles at least built into it. Obviously you could always multi-class and get another fighting style, so it's not unheard of for a character to have more than one fighting style. It's just not so much heard of on the same class. So I wanted to see what you think. Obviously you still can't take the same one twice, so you can't take defense twice and get a +2 to your AC. Still can't do that. That is just rules as written. So you could take, though, defense and, say, great weapon fighting if you wanted to. You could take both of those on the same build, which I think is pretty cool, and I don't think it's going to make a huge difference, especially waiting until level 14 to get it. It's pretty late to be getting this fighting style. And finally, Master's Flourish. We completely changed how it works because we now have a separate pool of dice that function as your fuel for your flourishes. Instead, you can now add your proficiency bonus to the number rolled on any flourish die. So that is the subclass now. That is what I have come up with for a fix. I would love to know what you think in the comments down below. This, of course, is not play tested, so it definitely could be overpowered, it could be underpowered, it could be about the same as what you think. But I think that this has some really good improvements. Do I think it's as good as the Lore Bard? I don't think so. I think it's just under it, but this definitely gives you a lot more flexibility than you had before, a lot more options. And so whether or not it is as powerful as the Lore Bard, I feel like you're gonna feel a lot more powerful, at least with this build. So let me know what you think. I would love to see that in the comments down below. Next week, we are moving on to the Valor Bard, and then we only have one more after that. We have the Whispers Bard after that, and then we are moving on to Cleric. Now, I will say, I would love to know in the comments down below if you would like for me to take a stop by the Blood Hunter class. Obviously, it is not official material, but it might as well be. I do have a Blood Hunter in my current Curse of Strahd campaign, and it's so fun. It's such a fun class, and it's really unique. It does a lot of really awesome things, and I think that it'd be cool to talk about. But let me know if you would like me to stick with just what is written and then maybe circle back to it at the end, or continue in alphabetical order, because Blood Hunter would be the very next one. So just let me know down there. Until then, I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. I hope you had a happy new year, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.